Welcome to another live. I feel like I really need to figure out a working schedule because once a week just does not seem enough. It really doesn't. I'll be honest. Oh, I almost forgot. Hey, Carol. That's not what I wanted. Is that what I wanted? Yeah, that's what I wanted. Okay. Um, that's not the right live. Darn it. Just when I think I'm doing good, I'm not. I need to color code my conservation story, which is what we're doing tonight. We are doing conservation success story. Um, we're gonna hold up, give people a chance to get in if they're coming. Um, this is always that channel where I never know what's gonna happen. We are going to be doing conservation success story. This one may be a little bit different than the last one, which is fine. I mean, stuff happens. How is everybody? Here I am talking like the room is filled with people. It's okay to say hi. Hey, Abby. Oh, I was just saying hi. I'm confused. I will have to look into that. Something I need to look into. That's crazy. Okay. Anyway, um, huh. Nothing yet. Let's just get into it. Imagine a beach on the Pacific coast of Mexico with literally thousands of olive Ridley sea turtles nesting on them, where 1,000 females arrive in one night to lay their eggs. Great, right? Well, in the 1960s in Mexico, the crocodile trade in their skins went, and spiraled basically into nothingness. And the leather trade there needed a new source for their leather. So where did they turn? Of course, they turned to sea turtles. And it seemed like the perfect candidate. Tens of thousands of sea turtles were killed for their skin. Numbers were dropping and it didn't look good, and something had to be done. Literally, for like 3 or 4 decades, thousands on top of thousands were eliminated. No, leather doesn't just come from cows. So yeah, that became an issue. So anyway, their numbers, sea turtle numbers were dropping, and it really didn't look good, and they had to do something. Now, they were killing sea turtles right up through the 1990s, and in 1990, there was a global outcry, and Mexico said, you know what, we're done with this, and they banned it. In just one decade, they went from having 200,000 nests in 1990, or in the 1990s, to having 1 million nests in 2000. And not only that, but the numbers were stable. So, pretty incredible. And pretty stable as well. The important thing here is that female sea turtles always return to the beach at which they were born. So they're not going to magically show up. A sea turtle that was born in Mexico isn't going to miraculously show up in Japan or other locations. Now, this is not the end of our story, though, because we need to see what is happening elsewhere and what methods are actually being done to save them. And while I may not get every method exactly right, we're going to cover some of them. According to the IUCN Red Book, this species is currently listed as vulnerable. Yes, I always say that name wrong, or that word wrong, with a population trend that unfortunately still shows a drop in mature individuals. So anytime that I give a population from the IUCN website, it is only adults. They don't include offspring in it. So just FYI. This species is a global species, meaning they don't just nest off the coast of Mexico. They nest in other areas as well. Now, the warmth of that sand is important because if it's too high or too low, can dictate the number of babies that are being laid out in the nest. It actually determines the sexes of the babies. Reptiles don't have. Temperature is key. So if it's too high or too low, you could have males and females or a mix. So if it's too high, yeah, you could literally end up with a nest of all females or potentially a nest full of, yeah, you get the idea. So too high or too low, and you're mixing with whatever. So they can be found scattered across the world. Now, since this species is found living across the oceans, it only makes sense that their troubles just aren't limited to Mexico, which makes sense, right? For years and years, their eggs were and are harvested. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Um, hey. Hey, Abigail, which channel did I have you in earlier? Was that this one or was it Nature Guy? Do you know? I'm kind of suspicious. So for years and years and years, probably for forever, the eggs have been used for people food and also to feed animals. And this is a practice that happens just not in Mexico, but in hundreds of other countries. And while it is illegal, people still do it. In some beaches, some remoter beaches, it is done 100%. So sometimes that's okay. I can. She may just be listening. Something though isn't right. I know she was on the phone earlier, so I don't know. Lost my place. So sadly, some of those beaches, they lose their eggs. And people will even steal eggs off of beaches that are monitored. And some places, meat and eggs are sold in local markets, which is kind of scary. And yes, I do mean turtle meat. Despite international bans, there is still bycatch going on via fisheries. So they might be fishing for shrimp and they end up catching turtles. So a trawl net is mainly how the turtles are being caught. It's basically a big net, like a butterfly net, only it's in the water. One end is open and the other end isn't. And they basically comb through the water and they catch whatever animals the net is designed to catch. And since some sea turtles feed on shrimp, they end up getting caught. And they basically pull these huge nets in back of the boats and catch whatever they're catching. So eventually, Another issue, we'll come back to those nets a little bit later. The sad thing is with these trawl nets is you can't control what's going into the nets at all. So that becomes an issue. Some beaches that these animals used to nest on, they can't use anymore. Oftentimes because either there's been development on those beaches for any number of reasons. Sometimes a village has just got too big. Other areas, there's been an increase in light pollution. Light pollution can greatly affect sea turtles. If there's a bright light, the turtles are sort of instinct to head towards the moon over the ocean. They might think that the light is the moon, and they will head towards it. Did I lose everybody? Oh, okay. She's good, Carol. I have nobody? I have nobody now? In other areas, they have sewage that is pumping pollution into the water. So any number of reasons could cause these animals to stop nesting in certain places. So how are these animals protected? Why are they protected? In the United States, we have a history with this species. In 1978, the olive Ridley sea turtle was placed on the endangered species list as threatened. Then in... What's wrong? Oh, okay. Cool beans. In 1992, we required the trawl nets in American waters to be fitted with a TED. Now, a TED is a turtle excluder device, meaning it keeps turtles from getting into the nets. Basically, the way they work is there are bars set up in the nets opening that keeps the turtle from entering the net. And so they are able to turn themselves around and get out. and that's great. We have protected their nesting beaches. We have also protected the marine environments in which they forage. We have tried our best to reduce bycatch numbers. That's again thanks to the bars and the nets. We are working at reducing vehicle strikes. So these animals are not big, but they can still get hit by boats. And we're trying to reduce that. We have rescued entangled animals. So sometimes these guys get tangled up in fishing nets or fishing line, and it constricts on them. It can actually cut into the flesh. And so when we find them, just making sure that you're okay, because it actually dropped down to zero people and besides me. So I was worried. So we now have a system set up so that if we do find one, there are people in various areas of the nation that are set up to take these guys in. We have outlawed the killing of sea turtles, as well as we have made it illegal to collect the eggs. Did you know that in the United States, we do not allow shrimp to enter our markets that are harvested in a way that might hurt sea turtles? I think that's pretty cool. But how do we know about sea turtles being caught in bycatch? How do we know that's happening? Well, believe it or not, there are observers on fishing boats, and they keep track of what is caught. So we have brought this species from critically endangered to vulnerable, and that is awesome, because the next step after critically endangered is extinction, which is not good. Are they out of danger? Nope, they are not out of danger, unfortunately. I don't know if they will ever be out of danger. That's just a fact of us being humans. And whatnot. No, they are not out of danger yet. We did raise numbers up, and I'd like to think that we'll continue to raise them up. What used to be beaches with thousands of Ridley sea turtles are now beaches with millions of olive Ridley sea turtles. I do want to say that in some cases, we have actually dug up nests, taken the babies, incubated them, and then released them on the beach where we found them. That way, they return to those nests, and they do have some of them will not all of them will make it to reach adulthood. I don't know what the stat is for that. I'm going to look that up real quick. If I can. Well, I should be typing with my right hand and not my left. So only 1 in every 1,000 olives Ridley sea turtles will survive to adulthood. Think about that. 1 in every 1,000. Only 1 in 1,000 will make it to adulthood. And that's because they have to survive predators. They have to survive marine plastics. And it takes 50 years sometimes for them to reach adulthood in the first place. So a lot can happen in 50 years. A lot. So basically, that is all I have at this point. You mean, why do they take the eggs out of the nest to incubate? Is that what you're asking? They do that, one, because it eliminates predators from getting to the eggs. It stops people from getting to the eggs. Because in India, people do eat the eggs. It does eliminate predators from getting to the nest. If, for another thing that can happen is if we have, let's say we have a hurricane during the time that they're nesting and the water is over the nest for too long, it can cause the embryos to drown, which would wipe out all of the nests potentially on that beach. And so by taking the eggs, it's a lot safer for the eggs. And the people that do this know what they're doing. I don't think it totally changes the outcome. It may a little bit. Because they still have to deal with ocean predators. It reduces the chance of them heading towards other light sources. And they're not going to get every nest. But they try. Hello, whoever is in live that I can't see. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. I should probably tell you what is coming up next. in this craziness that is my YouTube channels. I believe next week we are doing African predators in my collection. Because my numbers are a little bit sparse, we will be doing both reptilian predators and also bird predators as well. That is next week on the 16th. And then on the 23rd, we will be doing Asian herbivores in my collection. And we should have enough to last us pretty much for at least a half hour. And January 30th, we are going... I should have only 4? I need to check that. January 3rd, we are going to be doing Animals of the Arctic. So, that is what is coming up on that end of things. I'm sure they know what they're doing. It's more controlled. But one of the dangers that we do fall into is even on a beach, if it gets too warm, it can cause problems. And with higher temperatures, it could affect the outcome. But I don't think it causes issues with the sexes. It might have at first. Our next live on the main channel is going to be Irish Animals Exploring Nature. That's Friday, and Saturday it will be a exhibit focus. Also, just FYI, I have a new moderator. I am not replacing Carol. I couldn't replace Carol, even if I wanted to. She's too good. But I would rather have somebody in that knows what is just as good as Carol, so that if Carol has to be gone, or if in the days ahead we have somebody that we get to a point where our chat is going like this, we'll have 2 to cover. So be expecting them to be showing up in future chats, because I am very anal about stuff, and I like to have it set up before I have issues. It will be slow for a while. Probably way too slow. Not anything to get excited about. They're just in place in case. They're not going to carry, well, I don't know. I'm not going to be leaning on them as much as I lean on you, Carol, but don't worry about it. You're not. It has nothing to do with you. You're good. You're good. I am planning ahead. That's all it is. I'm going to be ready for the day when I have too many people to begin with. I didn't want them to just show up and you be like, wait a minute, what's going on? I will call you after live and explain. It's no big deal. I promise. I know that there's going to come a time when I'm going to have tons of people coming in. I'm hoping. And we'll be ready for them. Maybe. Or maybe I'm talking out my backside and have no idea what I'm doing. One or the other. I'm hoping that we'll be able to figure it out. Because I can have as many people as I want. I would have had predecessor in here a lot sooner, but she hasn't been coming in, and without knowing exactly what's going on, I can't assign if they're not in here. So there's that. No, that has nothing to do with it. I'm not getting rid of you. I'm not. It changes nothing. It just gives extra eyes for now. I'd like to see a day when our lives are so busy, or my lives are so busy that you guys are jumping. Come on, we both know that there have been nights when your fingers are tired by the end of the night. Maybe not super tired, but tired. I know there's nights when I'm stressing. So they're going to be there to help take some of the stress off of you. And then if something happens and you can't be on, then I'm covered. And I can relax. Or you guys can trade on and off. You know, if you know that the missionaries are going to need you, you can say, hey. And you guys can figure that out. I'm not gonna. The idea is for you guys, is for her to learn the ropes and to get a feel for how I work and how I function, which we both know I'm crazy and everything, and she'll find out. I've already spoken to her a little bit. Yeah. But it's not a huge deal. It is 7:40. We only have 2 people in live, I think. Hello, third person. I don't know who you are because I can't see you. I don't know who you are. Okay, they're gone again. We're going to end live, and I will call you up. So with that, guys, goodbye. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.